So this morning, my intent was to post a critique of something that Frank Turek had posted a couple days ago, talking about the problem of evil and suffering and skepticism. But then I saw this tweet that he posted just this morning, talking about Islam, where he says Islam is not a race, it is an ideology. There are Muslims from every ethnic racial group, so it is not racist for this Polish politician to say he doesn't want to import people in his country who want to remove his freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and other human rights. And I was very disturbed by this comment because, as I'm going to explain, Frank Turk's comment is hateful, unchristian, xenophobic, and Islamophobic. And to do that, we first want to take a step back and look at the excerpt of the interview clip that he is retweeting. The Polish politician, his name is Dominik Trzynski, and he is talking about how he affirms in Poland an open door policy to white Ukrainians, but a complete closed door policy to any Muslim refugees at all. Let's take a look at that and then we'll come back to Frank's tweet. Okay, so it begins with the journalist asking Trzynski about accepting refugees. We're not just talking about general immigration, we're talking about refugees. Keep that in mind. I'm going to play you the 1 minute clip and then we'll debrief it and then come back to Herrick's comments.
Refugees has Poland taken?
Zero.
And you're proud of that?
If you are asking me, if you are asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one.
Okay, I just want to note this is such deplorable, deceptive behavior. The journalist asked about acceptance legally, in fact, under obligation of international law to consider the claims of refugees. He shifts and starts talk. He says, no, none. We're not accepting any. But then he equivocates and shifts to talking about accepting illegal immigration. So I take it the journalist is the background framework for her question is the 1951 Refugee Convention for the United Nations that governs the rights of refugees and the obligations of international governments to consider refugee claimants' claims to requiring refugee status. And Trzynski blurs that and just blows it off and then equivocates by talking about illegal immigration. It's a despicable response. It's just so dishonest. And what it is simply shirking off the obligations to consider the claims of refugees.
If it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked not about...
Okay, sorry, I have to keep interjecting here and just pointing out some things. So he says they accepted 2 million Ukrainians, obviously overwhelmingly Caucasian or white, and he says peaceful. So he claims every one of those 2 million Ukrainians that they've accepted as refugees are peaceful. But not one Muslim would be peaceful. So he accepts zero Muslims. This is what we call Islamophobia. There are Muslims living in my cul-de-sac, wonderful people. I know many Muslims here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, who are wonderful people. None of them are violent. None of them have a fundamentalist interpretation of Sharia law. You find the same diversity and complexity in the 1.5 billion Muslims, however many there are in the world. You find the same diversity and complexity among them that you find in Christianity in terms of the interpretation and application and living out of their religious beliefs. To tar every Muslim and suggest that you are going to bar the claims of any Muslim refugee while equivocating between legal refugee claimants under the 1951 convention and illegal immigration, which is just so patently dishonest. To do this is just patently Islamophobic, xenophobic, and fundamentally contrary to Christian obligations, among other things, to welcome widows, to welcome people who are um, refugees, people who lack home, people who have faced abuse. Just freaking read Matthew 25:31 to 46.
About
System
illegal
failed.
immigrants, I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, says that you're racist. You sound
So, right there, she rightly points out that this guy equivocated by shifting from accepting refugee claimants to accepting illegal immigration, which again is so patently dishonest. And then now she's presenting to him the claim that he is racist.
proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why our government was elected. But this is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland, and we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
Okay, so Poland is safer because they have not accepted one refugee from who has Muslim identity. This is what this guy Trzynski is arguing, defending. Now I wanted to talk about. Let's go back to Frank Turek's endorsement of this. Okay, first of all, Turek says Islam is not a race. That is true. But the fact that it is not a race doesn't mean that people who say no Muslims are not thereby racist. The reason is, happy to explain this to Frank. If you are accepting Caucasian white Christians from Ukraine and you claim that every one of the 2 million that you've accepted from Ukraine is peaceable, but then the overwhelming number of Muslims that you could potentially accept, the overwhelming number are non-Caucasian, there is inevitably a racial component, a racial association to the Muslim identity within the context of Poland. So when the politician says he doesn't want to accept any Muslims, there is a racial component to that, which is associated with xenophobia and racism. This should not be hard to understand. Now, the next thing is that Turek says Islam is an ideology. Now, an ideology is a system of beliefs typically linked to political, economic theories of social organization. So, what Turek is saying here is that Islam as a religion is committed to a specific form of political engagement. And that is false, absolutely false. Just like it is false to claim that Christianity is an ideology committed to a particular socioeconomic political system. It just isn't. Christianity and Islam are both religions, are based on beliefs about revelation and prophets, and the socio-political implications of them in each case has been very diverse. They do not entail, neither one entails any specific ideology. I mean, you're just going to be into the no true Scotsman fallacy here, where if you point out Muslims like my neighbors in the cul-de-sac and the people I know here in Edmonton who are Muslims and who do not accept the interpretation of Sharia law and the social organization, government, women's rights that are, accepted by the Muslims that Turek hates, then you say, well, those aren't true Muslims. You're now into the no true Scotsman fallacy. Islam, just like Christianity, is a complex religion and does not entail any specific ideology. So then I just want to point out, let's keep in mind the fact that this politician was boasting about not accepting a single Muslim refugee. And the reason is because even one single Muslim refugee would bring about terrorism, danger to the country. That is just flatly xenophobic. And Turek is defending that. He's entailing here explicitly in what Turek says that even one single Muslim refugee would be a threat to remove the religion, freedom of speech, and other human rights of all the Polish people. This is paranoia. It's hateful. And all it does is marginalize refugees. Despicable. He also, Turek, interestingly, he uses the verb import, talking about importing people, which is dehumanizing, objectifying language, treating people as if they are a commodity that you import into their country, into your country. So, on multiple levels, this is Frank Turek is spreading xenophobia, Islamophobia. It's hateful. There are racist components to it. He's defending it, and he is defending and praising a politician who exalts and takes pride in disregarding the needs of refugees. I can't think of something more anti Christian than this. What a deplorable, despicable witness this is.